nominee.
Are you surprised we haven't seen more impact, negative impact on Hillary's campaign from all of these scandals surrounding her?
I don't think the issue with Hillary is as much about emails as it is about her performance
as Secretary of State.
As Secretary of State. I will tell you this, as a senator from New York, she did a great job for the financial institutions that were here. And remember
that she's now beaten up on.
At that, she got beaten up on that. She was as straight as an arrow. She did a great job for us, took us through a lot of tough times, and I give her credit for that. I think what's happening now on the Democratic side is, the progressive left. The Bernie Sanders is a placeholder. There's a man here in New York that hopes he's going to be drafted into running for president. And actually, Ken and I would be very supportive of that, because that would get him out of New York a lot quicker than the loss of an election in 17.
Who are you talking about?
Our incumbent mayor.
Yeah, Bill de Blasio.
Exactly.
Let me make a point here about the American people giving her the support she's given. There's something wrong in America today. We made a big issue, rightfully so, about John McCain being a hero. Those 5 kids that were serving their country the way their country asked them to serve them in a recruiting station in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The President of the United States sent the Attorney General of the United States to Missouri because of a young man who tragically was killed. But look what he was doing when he was killed.
Right.
He was robbing a store. And then this thing in New York. Where was the president immediately reaching out to the families of those 5 kids? Where was he? Why did it take so long?
He was on The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, I believe.
No.
The next day, he went on The Daily Show.
But that wasn't calling those five kids' parents.
I know.
Where was the flag? Where was the flag at half-mast immediately when those kids were killed?
How about,
so if the American people are willing to condone that, I'm not surprised they're going to give Hillary a pay. She and her husband made $31 million in the last 2 years giving speeches, largely to not-for-profit organizations.
What do you think her next speech, from what I hear, her big idea on the economy is going to be minimum wage?
Raising it to $15.
We saw in New York this morning. We had a Burger King guy say, look, I'm going to have to fire my people.
He owns 4 Burger King franchises.
What do you think about that political message? How quick could Christie beat that up? Who would take that down?
Or is Chris Christie wanting $15 minimum wage?
Look, you already have a good case study in Seattle, where restaurants, the state has mandated a very high minimum wage now for almost a year. Restaurants are putting 15% surcharges on the menu and telling patrons you don't have to tip any longer. Right. So what's happening? All right, the people in the front of the restaurant are tremendously hurt. The people in the back are being benefited. People are saying, watch my hours, because I don't want to go above that level that will disqualify me for public assistance. A lot of this is about shifting the burden from the government to the private sector.
Said that all morning. That's what Cuomo's trying to do.
Mandated,
absolutely.
Cuomo says, if I could raise these people out of poverty, then I don't have the burden on the state to pay for housing and all of these benefits.
But you put the burden on private business. I mean, where's the game?
Push it on to business.
Cuomo, I'll give him a great head start. He was going to do it. Allow fracking up around Buffalo, New York, and watch and see what happens to the economy.
Why didn't he do it then?
Well, because I'm guessing his ex-brother-in-law, who's a big tree hugger.
Could you define tree hugger, please?
The guy that likes trees.
I see.
I like trees, too.
We had the Raymond James CEO on earlier talking to Maria, and he said that he feels that the banks have been over-regulated. It's tough to do business. The rules and regs that have been thrown at them have been brutal. And there's been this attack on Wall Street, attack on business, a lot of feel in this country. What should the message be coming out of Washington or coming from these candidates on Wall Street? Hillary Clinton has already said that she plans on regulating finance and regulating the banks. Even she's going further left.
She loved them when she was a senator from New York.
And she loves them when they donate money to her campaign.
Look, let me say one thing, and it's going to shock you what I'm going to say. The biggest single challenge to America and our future is income inequality. We've got to fix it. We've got to fix it. Not with rhetoric, not with regulation. We've got to fix it. How can anybody live on whatever the minimum wage is now.
$8.75. It's going to $9 by the end of the year.
This is why it's such a danger. I mean, I live in the state of Connecticut. I went to Yale. There's plenty of raging Democrats there that are going to basically tell you that this is a really clever thing.
What do you got them on the show?
I'm your hardcore communist. Okay. I'm sure about that. But the reality is that a lot of
I'm only kidding. Don't get upset.
He's all about
the left-leaning academic would say it's the most clever pivot to solve for your point. Inequality is to go to the minimum wage would, and that is right. So the question to me is, like, how many people in this country are dumb enough to think that that's a good business idea? And I'm frightened by the answer to that question.
Doesn't it cause job cuts? I mean, if a guy who owns 4 Burger Kings is saying, look, I'm not going to be able to do this, I'm going to have to cut jobs, why is it that people don't understand? Something's got to give.
Because it's a third rail. When you say raise wages for the lowest, if you will, earners, sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds
the same
great.
way the left will say you can't touch Social Security. Right? They'd rather have it go broke than admit to the reality that it is going broke. Okay, so yeah, you have to approach this intelligently. Look, the reality is, if you don't get something done, okay, get a next president in there that's going to work with the Congress, that's going to deal with the issue of our deficit, our debt.
It's about the issues.
These are things that the infrastructure of this country falling apart. I mean, we have a real problem. I don't think it's income inequality. I think it's opportunity inequality.
So I agree with you. It's opportunity equality.
Opportunity inequality.
No one's expecting everyone to make the exact same number.